The following podcast is a proud member of the Blue Collar Roots Network. Find all the shows by visiting bluecollarroots.com. It's like your favorite call-in radio show, without being able to call in, and without being on the radio. Building HVAC Science with Bill Spohn.
Welcome back to another edition of the Building HVAC Science podcast. It's our goal to create better, more knowledgeable HVAC and building performance technicians. We're going to try to do that by helping the two professions better understand each other, with the ultimate goal of trying to make customers happy in the homes they live in and the buildings they work in. The title of our episode today is CarFax for Homes. Pearl Certification is looking for good contractors. In this episode, I'm going to welcome Bethany Professor and Amy Belay from Pearl Certification. They've created a very unique and cost-effective third-party certification for those major invisible elements of the home. You know, those elements that you have a hard time explaining to your customers. The building shell, the HVAC mechanical system, energy base load, all those really technical topics, they've boiled down and distilled into a way of communicating that and communicating the value so the customer actually walks away with something tangible, the certification report that they can use in their real estate endeavors when they go to sell or refinance their home. They're really starting to build momentum here. They're active in 6 states in the District of Columbia, and they're partnering with new real estate professionals and contractors from all over the country. So I think it's worth a listen for you if you're a contractor or even a homeowner or a real estate professional that's involved in any of these areas to kind of figure out what's going on. This is a very new trend. This is something very interesting and exciting. They worked hard to create a system that integrates with contractors' sales and work systems, and then provides this tangible record that can last and stays with the home. And they've been going at it for long enough that they've actually got data. Third-party study shows that the homes are getting about 2 to 10% better selling prices compared to non-certified homes. So let's listen to what Amy and Bethany have to say and share a few pearls of their wisdom. Today, I'm very pleased to have with me Amy Belay and Bethany Professor. Welcome.
Thank you. We're excited to be here.
Hi, Bill. Thank you for having us on.
You're welcome. So you folks are with Pearl Certification. That's sort of our topic today. What is Pearl Certification? And I've got the notion it's like CarFax for homes. Tell me a little bit about what Pearl Certification is.
Pearl is a national firm that provides third-party certifications on the performance of homes. A home's performance is a measure of how healthy, comfortable, and energy efficient it is. From a contractor's perspective, it actually allows our Pearl Advantage contractors to certify the work that they are doing in homes. It provides a level of transparency and credibility that their competitors can't provide.
That sounds interesting. So is it self-certification? You do it yourself? You sort of conform with a standard or a checklist or reporting? How does that work?
We designed this so that it's not a big lift. I think it's really important to note that this is not a program. We came from the program world and know how challenging and complicated that can be from a contractor business perspective, and really worked hard to make this as simple as possible. So contractor goes into a house, a good quality contractor, and determines what the home needs to be improved and solve the homeowner's problem. And once the work is completed, they enter information into our software. We then verify that work. So we look at the information they submit. Hopefully they're submitting some pictures of the work. And then the homeowner gets a really nice report from Pearl Certification. Contractor gets a copy of it as well. And the report is really focused on homeowner speak. It's something that can be used when the homeowner decides to sell or refinance the house. And it includes a pre-populated Appraisal Institute addendum, which is a real crucial piece to what Pearl provides to the marketplace.
And kind of back to the notion of CarFax for homes, Bill, Pearl Certification, we're not changing anything about what our contractors are doing. Contractors don't have to change their sales process. They don't have to change what they're doing in the home. It's not prescriptive. We work with quality contractors who are doing good work. And all we want to do, like CarFax for cars, is we want to take the information about the work that they're doing and translate it in a way that the next folks on the value chain can use it and benefit from it, so that the value of what these contractors are doing is actually coming through once the homeowner wants to sell their home, once they want to refinance. And so that the homeowner actually has a document stating, hey, the contractor said that they were going to do X, Y, and Z. This is what they did. Here's a photo. Here's all of the information pertaining to the installation. And from that point, real estate agent, appraiser can actually take this document and use it to value the home at the time of sale.
So who has access to this information once the report's finished?
If the homeowner wants to make some of this information public, they can. The homeowner has the report. So once the contractor enters in all the information, the homeowner will receive a certification report, the Appraisal Institute addendum. All of that is kind of contained in the packet. So when we say Pearl certification, they're getting those three pieces that are all valuable in different ways, right? The homeowner keeps that, but the certification is really tied to the home. So if the homeowner then goes to sell or buys another home, right, that certification will stay with the home no matter who the homeowner is in the future.
And to get back to your question about who has access to that information, when we send the report to the homeowner, the contractor's also copied on that, and we keep a copy of that report. We know that sometimes homeowners lose things, people lose things, I lose emails all the time. We're keeping a copy of that. And if the homeowner chooses to, the house will be listed on our registry. We don't sell this information to anybody. This is proprietary, private information that doesn't get exposed to anybody.
I know when I buy homes, we have a home inspection done. That's usually done by the seller, I think, and sort of present the value of what they have. And then I get a copy of that report. Is it like that, but goes a little deeper?
Yeah. And it's hopefully a little more homeowner friendly than the inspector's report. It shows things like, let's say the contractor installed a 22 SEER system. It will show the homeowner where they fall in the grand scheme of things in terms of how they measure up to other homes across the nation. Are they in the top 5% of homes when it comes to the equipment efficiency? It's really simple information that it's designed also for real estate agents who are typically also homeowners and are not efficiency experts. They're not HVAC experts or solar experts. So the language is really simplified to make sure that homeowners and real estate agents can understand what's in the report.
Something that's a little different than what the inspectors are doing, they're typically looking for what's wrong in the house. And Pearl certification, we're looking at what's right. So we want to call out the pieces of the home that are performing above average and be a record of that.
And also provide an element of proof rather than just a label or a piece of paper. There's actually proof that testing was done and the contractors were involved with this. So let's take a little tangent here and get back into your personal backgrounds, Amy and Bethany. Where did you come from? How did you get to this point?
This is Bethany. I've been working with contractors for about 6 years. For the last 5 years, I was working at Energy Circle based out of Portland, Maine. Energy Circle is a digital marketing firm for the contracting world. So I worked with HVAC contractors, home performance contractors, insulation, solar, you name it, all across the country. And I talked with a lot of folks who are running businesses in this world about their struggles going to market, about how homeowners were perceiving them, their education struggles, trying to educate homeowners on what they were doing, the gap between how their customers viewed their work and the work that they were actually doing and what was important. So that was a 5-year education on what contractors are dealing with. And there's a lot of misinformation out there. And there's historically really been a chasm between the work that good quality contractors do and the way that it is valued and perceived by the public. There's a lot of confusion, and it's been hard for quality contractors to rise to the top. So this is really why I hopped onto Pearl and why I'm so excited about this, because I think it's a game changer for the way that the contractors can go to market when they can offer something that's above and beyond what anybody else has been able to offer.
What you're saying is there's invisible work that's oftentimes done by contractors in this sphere, and you're bringing that and making it visible. You're making it tangible. You're making it relatable and expressing the value.
That is exactly what I'm saying, Bill. Thank you.
That's why we work great together. Tune into where you're coming from. Give me your career perspective, your career arc.
I've been in the energy efficiency industry for 10 years now and have worked my way to working closely with contractors. I worked at the national level with Energy Star programs, home performance with Energy Star, looking at program design. So helping sponsors think through everything from incentive structures to marketing campaigns. And what I really found was a crucial challenge in those programs was the intersect between programs and contractors. There's this continuous tension there. The challenge being that from a utility or program implementer's perspective, the customer is the ratepayer or the homeowner, and the contractor being the delivery mechanism. And the contractor is never the customer in that program design. So I beat my head against that wall quite a bit over the years and wanted to figure out, how do we meet contractors where they are, find the really quality ones that maybe charge a little more, but that's because they're doing business the right way. They're paying their employees well, they're offering benefits, they're pulling permits, they're doing load calculations when they're installing HVAC systems. They want to solve the customer's problems and do it the right way. How can we help them step up and be the easy choice for a customer? Customers make decisions based on information they know and understand. And when you're given 2 bids on an HVAC system and the only difference that you can tell is the price, homeowners are often choosing the lowest price. And what Pearl does, and why I was so excited to come on board, is it gives the contractors that are doing the quality installation, that are really solving that homeowner's problems, an opportunity to give that homeowner a different way to rationalize the decision and to go with a decision that might be higher priced at that moment, but allows them to recover that investment over time when they go to sell or refinance the house.
I know you, Pearl, and you too specifically are very contractor focused, because we've had to reschedule the interview a number of times because you are really working with contractors very closely, very tightly. And I don't mind at all about the rescheduling, but I think that just underscores several times how contractor focused you are. That's what I'm getting from this conversation up to this point.
Yeah, absolutely. This is about making it work for contractors. So the certification system is a piece of software, and we're constantly asking for feedback from our users to make sure that it aligns with their process flow. So the typical structure for a contractor using Pearl certification is that the salesperson talks about it with their homeowner. It can be as in-depth or as simple as, oh, by the way, we third-party certify all of our work through Pearl certification. That work gets completed, and then the person in the office that closes out the job, whether it's the receptionist or the sales coordinator, enters the information into the software. So we work with the salespeople, with marketing people in the company. Sometimes those are the same people. And then we also work with the software users, the folks that are doing the data entry, to make sure that this process works for them and that they're actually seeing value, that their close rates are going up, that they're able to use this as an upsell opportunity for their customers. And then it's really providing that added credibility and transparency that's helping that homeowner make a more informed decision.
So would a homeowner be billed for this certification?
What I recommend to contractors is that they embed this in the cost of doing business. We set the price point such that it really isn't a big lift for a contractor. It's far lower than the cost of an average lead, which each lead is on average about $350. An asset certification for Pearl is $19. So let's say that homeowner is trying to decide between a $10,000 bid from Amy Belay Heating and Cooling and a $8,000 bid from
Chuck in a truck.
Bubba Gump. Yeah, Chuck in a truck. And I'm able to offer that Pearl certification on my work. I'm willing to show my work and be transparent in what I'm providing you and the value that I'm providing you. If I'm a homeowner, I'm going to go with the contractor that's actually providing me that level of transparency and is willing to have a third party look at the information that they're providing them.
In my world at TrueTech Tools, where I work, reviews are very important. We get a lot of feedback from reviews, and we shape and change our processes based upon our constituents, our customers' reviews. Do you do that kind of thing? Do you go out and directly talk to the contractors, the consumers? Who are you talking with, and how do you collect that information?
Absolutely, Bill. So when we were developing our software, we had contractors who were assisting us all along the way, continue to really partner with a lot of contractors to make it better, to work with them out in the field, work with them in the office, ask them questions about how it's going, do user testing. We are also doing surveys for homeowners who have gotten Pearl certifications on their homes and listening to what's important to them as well. We really have kind of three parties that we're working with here. We're homeowners and contractors and real estate agents. So it's very important that Pearl certification works for everyone and that we're really bringing something to the table for every party involved. So we're definitely out there working with all three of those constituencies.
Yeah, we just finished a round of homeowner surveys looking at the certification report, asking for feedback on did they read it, did they like it, and what would they like to see presented differently in the report. And we take that information very seriously. And my job at Pearl is working day in and day out with contractors to make it work for them. So when I hear something from either a software user or salesperson or marketing person, wow, I'd really like to have a re-engagement campaign email, we pull that together for them and we provide it to them because we want to make this work in the best way possible.
How long has this been going on? How's it developed? When did Pearl start? Or was it something else beforehand? Or is it just kind of coalesced recently?
Pearl started in earnest about 3 years ago. Our co-founders, Cynthia Adams and Robin LeBaron, raised enough money to quit their jobs and focus on building out Pearl certification. And they really focused on two key things for the first couple of years. One was the software, getting it right, figuring out how to make it flow and make sense, and flow in the sense that it doesn't necessarily align with energy modeling software, but it aligns with the way contractors actually walk through a house and collect information. And then on the real estate side, so we have a team of people that's dedicated to engaging the real estate market. And first and foremost, we had to figure out how the real estate market worked. So they spent a good year navigating that world, which is very different than the contractor world. And there's a reason that nobody else has figured this out. It takes quite a bit of time to sift through and get connected and acclimated to the way that real estate agents make money. And we were fortunate enough to be selected for the National Association of Realtors REACH Accelerator Program. It's a technology innovator incubator. They selected 9 companies out of 500. So we were one of those 9. And it really launched us into the spotlight on the real estate side. So once they got that figured out, Bethany and I came on board in September of last year. And along with a couple other folks that we've all known each other for years. We've all been kind of working in this contractor space. So we're able to really hit the ground running and bring on contractors in earnest. I don't know, Bethany, if you had anything you wanted to add to that.
I think it's important just to talk about really why Pearl came into being and as well as how Pearl came into being. So Cynthia and Robin have, like Amy said, been working in the program contractor world for many years, trying to affect change that way, and realized that the programs were not working in the way they needed to. Amy really touched on this before, but there's a lot of disconnect. There's fall off after incentives are gone, and homeowners were really not understanding the value of the work being done. So Robin and Cynthia set out to change that, and they said, hey, what if we could actually make the value of this heat pump that XYZ contractor just installed in Mrs. Jones' house visible in a way that's more important to Mrs. Jones. We already know the values there, but what if we help her realize it monetarily, right? So like Amy said, we've been engaging real estate, engaging that world for a couple years now. But what they really set out to do is not only change the way people buy and sell homes, but the way homeowners think about their home, the way they relate to and choose contractors, and the way top-tier contractors can sell their services. That was the goal of this certification and this whole venture.
I just want to point out that we're not hating on programs. We come from the program world. There's a lot of benefit that comes from that. They have a really challenging goal in front of them to capture some serious energy savings. And I don't want to diminish how difficult it is to navigate through that. And we're also not opposed to being an augmentation to what those programs are trying to do. But it's important to note that we're also definitely not a program. This is really a market-driven approach to changing the way homeowners look at their houses.
The way I would sum it up, it's time for something different. And Robin and Cynthia identified that, and it's time for something different. And you have to wait for the evolution of the market to happen, and it is evolving. So you have certifications that have been done. If you want to get into the number or the area or the number of contractors, anything just to give people a feel for where is this taking place? Where is this really happening?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's been exciting. We just started bringing contractors on in earnest about 5 months ago. And we now have contractors in Virginia, in Maryland, in DC, in New Jersey, New York, and California.
In Wisconsin.
And Wisconsin. Thank you, Amy.
I'm just back from Wisconsin, so make sure to get a plug in there.
Yeah. So in earnest on the East and West Coast, we are hoping to be in 50 states by the end of 2018. And I think that that's a reasonable goal with the way that contractors are signing on right now. We have right now about 500 homes Pearl certified, and we're really gaining momentum daily on that. So we've only been working on this for a little while, and we're seeing the results already. So it's exciting.
We'll put this in the show notes too, but if you could give us some links to where interested contractors and maybe even interested homeowners who might be listening here can see what this looks like, what a typical certificate or certification looks like, and where a contractor could gain more information.
Absolutely. So if you go to our website, it's pearlcertification.com. We have resources for homeowners, resources for contractors, and resources for real estate agents on our website. You can see a sample report. You can enter your information to have a chat with one of us, and you can see what the types of resources that contractors and real estate agents will get whenever they're partners with Pearl Certification.
I would actually suggest that if contractors really interested in learning more, they should just talk to Bethany directly. And we can definitely include her Pearl email address in the show notes, if that's okay with you, Bill.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, that's fine. You can state it over the air too here. Is it Bethany at Pearl Certification?
It's Bethany at pearlcertification.com. Yep.
Okay. And it's Bethany.
You got it.
No funny spelling like IE or anything like that.
No.
Just straight up Bethany.
So we try to be as straightforward as possible. My last name is confusing enough, so we leave that out.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. It's got Z's and R's and F's in it and everything.
It's got way too many syllables. Should we talk a little bit about what types of certified in the home?
Sure, absolutely. The elements, yeah.
So we have 4 basic categories, and everything that can be certified really goes under one of these categories. We have building envelope, building shell, essentially mechanical, baseload, and home management. And then we also have another category for PV solar. So, anything from a mini split heat pump to attic insulation to the Nest thermostat that you install, right? Anything from a deep energy retrofit to a box swap really can be certified. The way that it works is a contractor who is a Pearl partner can certify any of the work that they do. So whether or not they're in the home just replacing a unit or they're doing a much larger project, whatever they touch in the home is then going to be Pearl certified and included on that Appraisal Institute addendum.
So when it goes into the Appraisal Institute addendum, I kind of like a vague understanding of the real estate industry, so you can help clarify for me. But is there like a place on what they call the Multilist services? Is there a place where this would show up, something that other real estate agents can pick up on?
Yes, there is. We are integrated into the Greenfields on the MLS. So something that a lot of people don't realize about the MLS is that there's something like, and I don't have the exact
800.
number.
There are
800. Okay.
There are 800 multiple listing services.
There are a lot of them all over the US. So some will be a whole county and some will be half of a town, right? So there's a lot of piecing together there. But in areas that we are working with contractors or real estate agents, the first thing that we do is work with the MLS to get integrated. And if there is an MLS that already has Greenfields, then it's a really quick integration.
And Greenfields isn't a place where you get kale. That's an area in the database for the MLS that they can choose to use in that area. Is that correct?
That's correct. So the green fields include energy efficiency and solar, and does it have a rain barrel and sustainable products in the house and things like that. We're focused on the energy efficiency and the solar piece. So the Appraisal Institute addendum, it's a legal document that if it exists and it's filled out and the appraiser and the real estate agent have it, they're required to use it to value the home. And our software pre-populates that. So the contractor doesn't have to touch it at all. It just gets auto-populated based on the information they submit in our software. And then it goes to the homeowner and to the contractor, and we keep a copy of it. In terms of the multiple listing service, we're working with some of the largest MLSs right now to get automatically integrated into their MLS. So if the home is Pearl certified, it will show up in certain areas. And our goal is to make that happen across the country over the course of the year.
So you have 6 or 7 states you mentioned that have active contractors in them. Is there anything that would prohibit someone from Illinois or Indiana or Texas from calling you and getting set up? Does it have to be something happening in their area for you to work with them, or can they do it independent?
So no, absolutely not. So anyone can request certification in any state. And as soon as we have a contractor partner or a real estate partner in a state, we are officially in that state, right? So we technically can do work nationally right now. We're just gathering our partners so that they can also use us nationally.
So do you work with any of the contractor organizations?
Yeah, we have a good standing relationship with ACCA, the Air Conditioning Contractors of America. We also have a good standing relationship with BPI. I think you had Larry Zarker on your show a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
And working to build a relationship with some of the other trade associations out there as well. And then looking at other networks of contractors like EGIA, the
Electrical Gas Industries Association?
That is correct. Yes. They've done such a good job as branding themselves as EGIA. I forgot what it's
right.
And some others that are in the works. So yes.
Does a contractor have to present anything to you to be considered part of the program? How do they demonstrate?
Yeah. So we're looking for contractors that care about quality, they care about customer service, and they care about solving their customers' problems. The way that we define that is quality really matters from a homeowner's perspective more than anything else. At the end of the day, if the homeowner's not happy, it doesn't matter if they did a load calculation and that they used mastic to connect the ductwork and perfectly insulated the attic. If the homeowner is unhappy, then the product doesn't work and the contractor loses money. So we're looking for contractors that have good customer ratings on the various online rating tools. We're looking for contractors that do load calculations, some sort of commissioning checklist or startup list, and AHRI certificate on the projects they submit to us.
Home services contractors that hit those buckets, and specifically the customer service bucket, we want to work with you.
Yeah.
So it sounds like any contractors who are listening who do these kind of good practice steps should give you a call, because it can only serve to differentiate them, because they can now provide something to their customers, to their clients.
We are selective in who we work with because this is information that's going to go towards the sale or refinance of a home. And we want companies that understand that and that are willing to be transparent in the information they're providing to us. So we want to make sure that we're working with quality, top tier contractors. And maybe, Bethany, you want to talk a little bit about competition in markets, meaning like the number of contractors per market?
Yeah, absolutely. Great point. We want to make sure that our contractors are supported and have a good share of the market. We think it's actually better if there are a few contractors in each area, that there are a couple high quality contractors that are offering this in each area. I mean, we don't want to saturate the market, so we're going to keep it to a couple per geographic area. And like Amy said, we're very conscious about getting top tier contractors. We want to make sure that the Pearl brand remains strong, and that's very important to us, that the information that they are entering on the certification that gets passed through is investment grade data. It's really important that we're working with high quality partners.
Yeah. There's criteria there. So is it only existing homes or remodels, or do new homes play in? What's the spectrum?
All of the above.
Oh, yeah.
I think that something that's different about Pearl certification is that we do certify existing homes. There are a lot of certifications and ratings out there that are geared toward new homes, geared toward new construction, which is great. But there are a lot of homes out there in the US. There's a huge market of existing homes, and those are the homes that actually need the most work and the most work can be done on, and that contractors are honestly engaging more with, right? So there's more opportunity out there in the existing home market.
Does each report have to include all 4 categories that you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, I was just going to go there. That was a perfect segue. If you are a heating and air contractor and all you do, your bread and butter is furnace and AC systems, then that is what you certify in the software. It is the work that you do in a home. If you are so inclined and want to capture more information, that's great. But at the end of the day, we want each contractor to be able to certify the work they're doing in the home. I was just with an insulation contractor this week, mostly focused on attic top plate jobs. That's most of their projects are looking at the sort of the top part of the house, and that's all they're going to certify. And that's great. We love that. If you're a solar contractor, you can certify just the PV system that you're installing. And while the solar contractors are getting asset certifications, they're not getting the full spectrum of the certification. What we're seeing with our solar contractors is it's setting them apart. Getting a lead in the solar space is really difficult, really expensive. And so once you get that lead, you want to close it at all costs. And what we're finding is that Pearl is giving them that leg up to help that homeowner make a decision between them and another solar contractor.
Excellent. Going into kind of the 3 segments of the certification, health, comfort, and energy efficiency, how does that break down? Are there actual metrics in there for that? Or what's the kind of rating or evaluation, say, for health?
There's no rating for health. So we are looking at the products that are installed in the house. We're not making a determination on how healthy the home is per se. We can collect information about IAQ products. So we look at the type of filters that are installed, the ventilation systems, things like that. But we're not making any sort of determination about how healthy the home is. And frankly, we're not making any determination about how energy efficient the home is. We're really looking at what is in the house. And because we're working with quality contractors, how well it's installed versus how many kWh are we saving on this house, or how much particulate matter are we reducing in this house? Go ahead, Bethany.
Yeah, so kind of going back to the CarFax for homes model, this is really taking the information about the things that are installed in the home, how they're installed, what they are, getting the details and the facts about them, and putting them in a way that the next folks on the value chain can use them, putting them in appraiser speak and real estate speak, translating them into a way that they can use them as well.
That's as much art as science there, right there. How about the impact that it's had? I think you recently had some results from a study or a report. Can you share that?
Yeah, it was really exciting. So we started in Virginia, Southern Virginia, and that's where we kind of have the majority of our homes right now that are certified and majority of contractors. So we commissioned a study, a third-party study that just came out in November, looking at several homes and comps, and it showed that Pearl certified homes are actually selling for 5% more on average than comps in the area. So really exciting. Great news for real estate agents, great news for contractors that are doing the work on these homes, and great news for sellers, right? You invest in making your home better, even though these are things you cannot see. You can't see the heat pump, you can't see the AC system, you can't see the insulation, but they're doing good work and you should be rewarded for that when you sell your home. So it was anywhere in between 2 and 10% that these homes were selling for more. Yeah, average of 5.
I would just add that our intention is to replicate this study in markets where we have enough homes certified and that sell. So for example, we're working with a contractor in New Jersey that will probably single-handedly provide us enough Pearl certifications to perform the study up there. And by we perform the study, I actually mean the Appraisal Institute. It is a third-party independent study. We will replicate that in all the new markets that we go into.
Yeah, we don't touch it until it's done. We see it when it's done, so we stay away from it.
Yeah, and I think that's a critical point to drive home for contractors out there in markets that we're not in yet. It's an opportunity for your work to get elevated in this real way by providing Pearl with enough certifications that essentially it becomes Pearl and Amy Belay's Heating and Air, that their homes are selling for 5% more. It's not just Pearl certified. There's a real opportunity as we go into new markets for contractors that are thinking about this.
Yeah, we'll probably be doing studies in several areas in California, in New York, and in New Jersey in the next little while.
Sounds like it's really gaining momentum. You both came on board in September, was that correct, or October?
September.
Wow.
We've been busy.
Yeah, very busy. Do you get out to places where contractors linger, like trade shows and things like that? Are you circulating through that kind of network to reach contractors?
Absolutely. In fact, we were just making plans for ACCA, which is going to be held in Washington, D.C. on
That's the IE3 conference.
The IE3 conference, Air Conditioning Contractors of America. We're going to be at that this year, and that's in February. I think it's the 12th and the 13th, 12th through 14th maybe. So we're attending that. We attend SEIA, Solar Conference. We've got several conferences on our agenda this year. You can actually follow us if you go to our website. We have all of those posted.
When you mentioned the resources on your website, are there like downloads? So if a contractor wanted to hand something to a homeowner and say, without even signing up, just try to test the waters, is there something that they could provide some of their target customers to do their own research to see if this makes sense?
Great question, Bill. Yeah, we do have those resources that you would actually need to contact me for. Again, Bethany at pearlcertification.com. But we have co-branded brochures, so the contractor can have their brand on it as well as Pearl. Of course, only Pearl partners can use those, but once you're signed up as a Pearl partner, we provide a whole lot of marketing and sales resources for you. But yes, I can also give contractors some information to give their customers to test the waters, see how they might think about it. And it's exciting in terms of homeowners. We're getting a lot of positive feedback. As soon as they see the report, it's really built in a way that they can understand things that they care about, like how they stack up to their neighbors, right?
Yeah, competition. Yeah.
Competition and really digestible information that is also important to them.
It's really kind of interesting too, as contractors are testing the water with Pearl and they mention it to their homeowners. There's a little bit of fear that from a salesperson's perspective that homeowners going to ask questions they don't know the answer to, and they're going to look stupid. And so there's a little fear and hesitation about talking about Pearl. But what we're finding is that homeowners are not asking what Pearl is. It just becomes like this deciding factor for them. They might go look it up on the website later. We can't capture that information, at least not on the salesperson's side, but they're really not asking a lot of questions. They like that it's a third-party certification and that there's the opportunity for them to recover this investment at the time of sale or refinance.
And homeowners see that we're partnered with DOE and BPI,
That's Department of
Energy, and Home Performance with Energy Star, and the Appraisal Institute, and National Association of Realtors. So they see these very reputable, trusted organizations that transfers trust to Pearl, which transfers trust to the contractor.
And just going back, what is the asset certification? What's the cost? And how does that happen? Who pays? When do they pay? That kind of thing.
An asset certification would be one single installation by a contractor. In fact, most contractors who work with us are probably going to be certifying at the asset level. I go in and I install one thing in a home. I certify it as an asset certification. It's $19. So we're making it extremely reasonable for the contractors. We have a $199 a month network fee for the software and support and in the marketing materials that we provide. There's a list of other benefits, but then it's a very easy and attainable $19 per job.
So we signed on this solar company in probably July or August of last year, before Bethany and I came on. And they really started with kind of just a slow drip of certifications. And we're trying to figure out, how do we get the spigot turned on? They're one of the largest solar companies on the East Coast. They do the majority of installations in Virginia. And we want to capture all of those. And we want to help them capture more work as a result of Pearl certification. So because they were one of our early adopters, we worked really closely with them to figure out how to make it work in their system. They have people that send information to the homeowner that are in a different state. They have salespeople all over the Eastern Seaboard. So they're a very disparate company. But we were able to kind of integrate into their sales platform. So now they have slides in their pitch deck that talk about Pearl. They have information on their website about Pearl. They have information that they can include in email re-engagement campaigns or engagement campaigns with their potential customers. And they're now our top producing contractor as a result of that high touch support. And that's how dedicated we are to these contractors. We really want to make sure we figure out how to make it work within their business.
And that might look like many different things, right?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes that's going on sales ride-alongs with a salesperson that's super skeptical about talking to a homeowner and helping.
Wait, you do that?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, part of that is that's my particular passion. I love helping good contractors make money doing the right thing. And so if they'll let me, I will get under the hood and help them tinker the machine and make it run a little more efficiently. And if that means ride-alongs, if that means sitting in on sales meetings or working with their marketing coordinator, I'm game to do that. My department is game to do that.
That's very cool.
Amy is the VP of Contractor Services, and really her main focus is how can we support contractors? How can we support them in issuing Pearl certifications? And what do we need to do to make that happen? So she's out there with contractors all the time.
You both are very passionate about what you do. It comes across in speaking with you and seeing with you and also listening to what you're doing. You put your heart and souls into this.
I think that's a critical part of all of this, is that neither one of us were really looking for jobs when we came to work for Pearl. It was that this is a game-changing product, and it's an incredible team of people that are behind it. And seeing that light bulb go off for contractors, that this is the tool they've been looking for. We've heard that so many times. That this is the solution to a problem that we've been having for years. So it's really exciting and motivating for us.
And my next episode coming out is going to be with someone that works with utility programs. I know you said you're not dissing or putting down utility programs or state energy programs, but this is an alternative. And I guess it could also go hand in hand too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Bethany and I spend a lot of time together.
We share brain.
We want this to be a standalone product, but we also recognize that utilities and state energy programs have a tough road ahead of them, and see that this could be a product that can augment what they're doing in a marketplace, and are very happy to work with utility programs. And there are some states where we're already kind of in the works of that.
The reality of the situation is there aren't programs everywhere, and programs are not all equal, right? So this is something that you're in Oklahoma, you're in California, you're in Michigan, you're in Maryland, you can use this. This is something that no matter who your customer is, if you're a home services contractor, you can use this to set yourself apart.
Yeah, you don't have to pre-qualify the homeowner. That's a crucial difference between utility programs and Pearl, that every home is qualified to get a Pearl certification if you're doing an installation of something that is addressing energy or indoor air quality on the home.
Now, do you have to be a contractor, or could you be like some of the other folks that listen to this are from the energy auditing, building performance world? Are there any kind of strict limitations to that? Could they do part of the certification, the building envelope, say?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we work with home performance contractors and
Yes.
building performance contractors too. Absolutely.
And the baseload stuff too, right? I mean, that's all.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But the mechanical HVAC, you need to be an HVAC contractor because you need to have experience and training to do that.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Solar contractors can certify solar work. HVAC contractors will certify their own work, and envelope contractors will certify the insulation, the air sealing, whatever they're doing in the home.
And it's so cool that you don't need to pre-qualify the home. The country is open. I mean, you are limited to the country, right? 50 states?
For now.
Our plan is to take over the world. So
All right, yeah.
in 2019,
Yeah, that's 2019, Bill.
let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Well, we'll have you back at that point. Do you think this is the home performance market? I guess is a very broad term, but do you think this is part of the future of the home performance market, really being able to tag value for the consumer, for the homeowner, in the real estate market and the contract? It really sounds like you have one of the really missing pieces to the puzzle.
Yes, I think that's absolutely accurate. And it's not just limited to home performance. I think it's a game changer in the HVAC world. There are how many 100,000 HVAC contractors in the country, and it's really hard for homeowners to make a differentiation between them. So I think this is a crucial game changer there.
It might be a different way of looking at home performance too. So right now, when we think of home performance, we think of envelope contractors looking obviously at the whole home, the way that all the systems work together. Very important, really important, but also important to bring in other types of contractors and give them a way to show their quality and to reward for both them and the homeowner when they're choosing a SEER 18 unit over a SEER 12, right? So the performance of an individual unit contributes to that home. And even if we're not looking at every element of the home all the time, it should still be considered an improvement in the home.
I feel like I've learned an awful lot here. This sounds really encouraging and enlightening, and I hope it is for the listeners too. And I will put in the show notes some of the links that we discussed here for them to get in touch with you and find out more about what Pearl has to offer. So I always do at the end a hot seat question.
Okay.
One for each of you, and you can pick whichever one you want. But what's the latest book you're reading, a favorite quote of yours, or something unique about you personally?
I am a huge fan of quotes. I collect them, as a matter of fact.
So do I in my iPhone and the Notes app. I do.
Yeah, I use Evernote, but same thing. It's not just a quote, it's a poem
Nice.
by C. Joyble, and it's called Where Am I Going? I have come to accept the feeling of not knowing where I am going, and I have trained myself to love it, because it is only when we are suspended in midair with no landing in sight that we force our wings to unravel and alas begin our flight. And as we fly, we still may not know where we are going to, but the miracle is in the unfolding of the wings. You may not know where you're going, but you know that so long as you spread your wings, the winds will carry you.
That is very calming and inspirational. Can you spell the author's name on that?
C, as in the letter C, Charlie, Joyble, Joybell.
That's fantastic. Where am I going? Thank you.
I love that question. I'm so glad I got to share that with people.
Hot seat.
Yeah.
That's good. So I'm going to answer the book question. I actually am trying to, in the new year, read a book a week.
Wow.
I know.
She's ambitious this time.
Yeah.
It's something I've been wanting to do for a little while, and I'm happy to say that so far I'm on track. I'm starting with short books.
I was like 2 weeks in.
So this year I've read Braving the Wilderness, the new Brene Brown book, which is awesome. It takes probably 3 hours to read. It's really quick. It's amazing. Definitely recommend it. And I also read a book of poetry by Portia Nelson called There's a Hole in My Sidewalk. And that's something you can kind of pick up here and there and read one a day or kind of read through a whole section. But both are fantastic. So
Braving the Wilderness is the topic actually what the title indicates?
Not exactly.
It's not about the physical wilderness.
Which we both enjoy.
Which I enjoy very much. I guess another interesting fact about me could be that I hiked the Long Trail in Vermont this summer.
Wow.
With my dog. So it's close to 300 miles from the Massachusetts border to the Canadian border, which was really fun in June, the most rainy month in Vermont. So
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. But Braving the Wilderness, it's more about the wilderness of life. We don't know what's coming and how do we tackle it and the mindset to be in. So, which I think is important no matter who you are, where you are, what you're going through.
Those are really two inspirational thoughts there, the poem and your description of the book to leave our listeners with. So were there any other points you wanted to cover?
I did want to answer your question about what the Appraisal Institute is.
Oh, okay.
It's a global professional association of real estate appraisers with nearly 19,000 professionals in 60 countries throughout the world. And its mission is to advance the professionalism and ethics of appraisers and property economics worldwide. So it's third party, and they do a lot of great work throughout the world, largely focused in North America.
So the foundation of which you build upon there, you do that extra heavy lifting, you made that relationship. So that ends up at the end of the Pearl certification report.
Correct. Absolutely. And the appraisers are a pretty critical piece of this, right? Contractors are important. Real estate agents are important. Appraisers are equally as important as well.
Excellent. We'll wrap things up then. And want to thank you both for coming on. It's been a long time in the making, but you've been working. So expressing your passion for the things that you do. And that's fantastic. So Amy, Bethany, thank you very much for coming on board. Seriously, we should come back again when you have some new things to talk about.
We will. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Bill.
Thank you, Bill. This has been fun.
Great. Take care. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed what you heard for today, the pearls of wisdom from Bethany and Amy of Pearl Certification. If you'd like to keep up with other things that we find interesting, you can follow us on Facebook by typing in Building HVAC Science into the Facebook search bar. You'll find our Facebook page and you can interact with us there. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor of the Building HVAC Science podcast, please email me at bill_spohn, SPOHN, at bluecollarroots.com. Blue Collar Roots is a collective of other trade-oriented podcasts. You can learn more about those other podcasts that we're associated with at bluecollarroots.com, where we're trying to do our part to help transform and professionalize the trades by filling in the skills gap through training, communication, and occasionally some things that are entertaining. I'd like to close today with a quote. It's by Charles Swindoll. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. I think that's very true. So I'll keep that in mind and look forward to having you back to listen to more of the Building HVAC Science podcast.